Good day everyone! So sa video ito, ang aking ipe-present sa inyo is just an introduction on our subject, Theories of Crime Causation. So after this chapter, we are going to proceed already with the different kinds or different categories of theories of crime causation. So let's try to understand first what does a theory means. So it simply says here a formal idea or set of ideas that is intended to explain something. So if you remember, one of the most popular theory that was or that you might encounter during your past studies or past year level, you have encountered the so-called Big Bang theory, okay, in science, okay, that is explaining how does the universe existed, or how does the planet existed, okay. And we have also here the theory of evolution, okay, by Charles Darwin. So nandyan, anong ini-explain niya dyan? Okay, it's the idea of Charles Darwin saying that man came from ape, okay, or came from apes, okay. So it explains something, how did a certain thing occurred, somewhat like those, okay. And we have here another definition. It says here a proposed explanation is whose status is still conjectural, okay. So when we say conjectural, it is not yet sure, okay. So take note, a theory is just it is needed still to be proven, okay, or it's still unsure, okay. That's why theory is different with facts, okay. So when we say facts, okay, so facts, they are already proven, okay. But in theory, if we say theory, it is still needed to be proven, okay. Katulad na lang ng theory ni Charles Darwin. So it is not believed by everyone, okay. So it is needed to be proven still. So we can say that it is a theory. It is, that's why they say that it is just a theory still, because it's still under the process of confirmation, okay. But until now, that is just still a theory, kasi wala talagang nagpapatunay, okay, na evidence that mankind, okay, came from apes, okay. And another one in here, it says here in some books or in some sources, they defined a theory is just a guess, a hunch, or supposition. But if we say that it is just a guess, why do we need to study this? So actually, theory, even though that it is not yet proven, hindi pa napatunayan, hindi pa ito confirmed, but it has actually an advantage, okay, or it has a deeper reason why we need to understand, or why we need to study those different theories, okay. So we are going to look in here, why do we study theory, okay. So number one here, it gives us a background for your further studying, so especially in research. So in conducting research, sometimes one of the thing that you are going to look on are theories, right? So maghahanap kayo ng theory, and then yun ay pwede nyong magamit, okay, to further explain or further support, or to have a background on your research study. So that will be you will be encountering that when you are going to take your thesis already, that is in fourth year or maybe in third year, okay. So when you are in third year already, okay. And we have here another one, studying theory will not give you answers to all your questions, but it helps to solve the problem much faster and effective, okay. And that is very true. So if you don't let's say we have here the theory of Charles Darwin, okay, that man came from ape, or saying that man came from ape, okay. So it is something that doesn't answer the question, actually, okay. It doesn't answer the question that mankind really exists, basing doon sa mga na-present niya doon. I mean, mankind came from apes, okay, basing on doon sa mga na-present niya doon sa theory niya, okay. But with that, you can use his theory, okay, and you can relate it to other theories also, okay, in order to maybe to support or to further get some detail, okay, or to consolidate detail in order for you to solve the question, how does or how did really how does the human really existed. Okay, so paano nga ba talaga nagsimula, or paano talaga, or saan ba talaga nanggaling ang tao. So yun, it can help, okay, it can support your study and further finding the answer. Okay, and it says here, emphasizes faster, okay, and effective. So just like on conducting researches also. And we have here the third one is, it helps to organize relevant empirical facts. Empirical meaning it can be observed or measured. So in order to create a context for understanding phenomena. So we can relate it here in our subject, just like in crime triangle theory. Okay, so you as maybe in the future, if you are going to be a police officer, okay, sabihin natin naging isang police officer ka, so you know what is all about the crime triangle theory. You were able to read about it. Okay, so nandyan, ano nga ba yung kinakailangan na elements in order for a crime to exist. Okay, so nandyan yung motive, okay, o nandyan din yung target, okay, or the victim, okay, and then nandyan din yung opportunity. So those are the elements on the criminal perspective in such a way na mag-exist ang crime. Okay, so with that, if you know those elements, okay, you were able to identify. So this time you can now understand how or paano mo mape-prevent yung krimen. Okay, so how are you going to prevent the crime? Okay, you will be having an idea already on how you are going to prevent a crime. So simply, katulad din sa apoy, di ba? Meron ding triangle, fire triangle na tinatawag. So kapag wala yung isang element, hindi mabubuo or hindi mag-exist ang isang sunog. Just like in crime. So you need to remove also the element. Okay, you remove one element of it, and then the crime will not happen. Okay, so pinakamadaling or isa sa pinaka-effective na pwede mong tanggalin dyan is yung opportunity. So paano mo tatanggalin yung opportunity? So as a police officer, you can do patrolling. Okay, conduct patrolling sa area of responsibility mo para ma-prevent mo yung pag-exist ng krimen, ng crime, in a way na kapag nakita ka ng suspect or nakita ka ng mga kriminal, then at least merong deterrent factor doon. Okay, hindi nila itutuloy yung gagawin since meron kang police na nandun na nagbabantay, okay, or nagpapatrolya. So those are some of the situations that we could relate or that we could give just to support why do we need to study theory. So it's very important also, and it's also very important kasi ito nga ay part ng board examination din ninyo. So anyway, in real life you can apply actually these theories, okay, to further understand how does a certain thing happens or how does a certain thing existed, okay, katulad ng crime. Okay, and we have here number 4, a way to explain a set of facts. Okay, so as we have mentioned a while ago, theories explain something. Okay, explain why does a certain thing exist, okay, or why does it happen. And lastly, we have here theories connect different data dots in different ways, resulting in a wide variety of pictures and practices. Okay, so with this, meron yung tinatawag natin na incorporation of theories, or mixing, okay, or combining all those theories to create a certain theory. So with that, kunin natin yung theory ni Sigmund Freud. So ganito yung theory na sinasabi niya in his psychoanalytical theory. Pero enough ba yun para i-prove? Okay, it is support na para i-prove talaga yung yung sinasabi nila na yung id, ego, and super ego na sinasabi niya. May prove kaya nun na meron talaga yung mind natin, it is composed of those three, okay, categories or three areas na yon. Okay, and then kung kulang, that might be not enough. Okay, that is not, I think that is not enough. So with that, you need to find another theory to support it. Okay, and then you are going to connect it with each other. Kung ma-agree ba yun doon sa theory ni Sigmund Freud, so meaning patibay ng patibay, or talagang mas paniniwalaan pa. Okay, mas mapuprove pa niya kung halos parehas yung sinasabi ng theories na yun. Okay, so those are some of the importance. Okay, those are the 5 reasons that we can say, or that we can give, why do we study theory. Okay, aside from those 3 that was mentioned a while ago. So this time we are going to proceed already with these so-called categories of theories. Okay, so what are those different categories of theories? So later on, isa-isa na natin, kasi under biological theories, napakaraming klase ng theory na nandyan. Okay, and napakaraming personality dyan. So ano nga ba ang tinutukoy natin pag sinabing biological theories? So biological theories, these are theories that attempt to explain behaviors, okay, contrary to societal expectations through examination of individual characteristics. So nandito na yung physical traits ng isang tao, okay, or body build ng isang tao, tinitignan nila, and then they are going to relate it on behaviors contrary to societal expectation, or yung tinatawag natin na crimes. Okay, crimes, delinquency, and others. Okay, so behaviors contrary to the society. Okay, so nandyan, just take note, individual characteristics, or yung physical traits ng isang tao. And then nandyan din yung yung katawan, I mean body functioning ng isang tao, okay, or body, or the characteristics of the body of an individual, okay, and so on. Biological nature of human beings determines whether they commit criminal acts or not. Okay, so that is for biological theories. And then we have here the second one, it's so-called biosocial theories. So it's the combination of bio and social, biological and then social theories, kaya biosocial. So human behavior is explained as a product not only by biological factors, but sinabi din dito environmental factors. So mixture na dyan. So hindi lang po yung heredity, okay, hindi lang sabihin natin, hindi yung physical traits or physical characteristics ng tao, okay, yung nag-explain, or yung factor doon, okay, yung mentality ng tao, okay, hindi lang yun yung factor doon, okay. And then sinabi din dyan, it is being affected by the environment, kaya sinabing biosocial theories. Okay, and then we have here explore how both nature and nurture influence behavior. Okay, nature talks about the environment, and nurture talks about the development, okay, or the physical development of the person. Okay, so with that, next one, or next category that we have here is psychological theories. Okay, so it says here, used to provide a model for understanding human thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Okay, so we are going to understand here, we are going to try to understand, or this theories tries to explain how does, okay, how does a person think, okay, or how does, or what's the reason why that certain person behave in such kind of behavior, okay, and then how does that person, okay, why is it, or how does that person or maybe those emotions, okay, we are pertaining to those emotions. So bakit ganun yung emotions na nararamdaman ng isang tao, okay, and then others, or what does how does emotions contribute in criminality, because sometimes emotions natin, okay, nadadala tayo sa emotions natin, meron tayong mga nababalitaan, nadadala sa emotions, okay, extreme anger, kaya nagagawang mag-commit ng crime and others. So that could be under psychological theories. And then we have here under psychological theories, it has different kind also. So we have here the so-called grand theories. So major grand theories, these are usually the theory that was presented or advocated by Sigmund Freud, Erik Erikson, and Jean Piaget. Okay, so they are so-called, or they are also known as a major thinkers in psychology. Okay, and then ano nga ba ang grand theories? So it seeks to explain much of human behavior. Okay, and this is the one that makes it different with others, so-called uh, but are often considered outdated. Okay, so by the word or the keyword grand, okay, so it means it is it is a theory that was advocated for a long time. Okay, so medyo outdated na sila, but still now they are being accepted still kasi it is somewhat yung accuracy, okay, or yung probability ng theories nila is high. Okay, kaya still now ini-study pa rin yan, and then yes, pinaniniwalaan yung mga opinion ng mga major thinkers na yan. Okay, but just take note, when we say grand theories, those are theories explaining human behavior that are considered outdated, and aside from that, incomplete. Okay, so next one that we have here is the so-called mini theories. So simply, pag sinabi nating mini theories, it talks about a small or very particular aspect of development. Okay, so it explains a narrow or relatively narrow behaviors by the word mini. Okay, so medyo maliit lang yung sakop or yung tinutukoy ng theory na ito. So we have here an example. Of it. It's all about the theory so-called how self-esteem is formed or early childhood socialization, or a theory explaining how self-esteem is formed or early childhood socialization. So ang tinutukoy lang niya, ang focus lang niya is on self-esteem. Okay, so if we are going to show more an example just to emphasize mini theories, katulad na lang ng theories on crime. Okay, so sabihin natin theories explaining crime. Okay, so napakalawak ng crime, di ba? So crime, meron tayo dyan murder, a crime of murder, a crime of homicide, a crime of theft, a crime of robbery. So napakalawak ng crime. Okay, so paano natin may relate sa mini theories? So masasabi natin it would be a mini theory if we are going to take a look only, or it only explains a certain crime. Okay, kagaya ng murder. Okay, why does a crime of murder happen, okay, or occur? Okay, so katulad din nito. So it focus only on self-esteem. So it does not explain how does a brain functions, how does a behavior, or what is the reason behind why does that person behave in such behavior. Okay, so ito lang, focus on self-esteem. So it is very specific, or it is in a narrow aspect. Okay, and we have here the next one, the so-called emergent theories. So simply, pag sinabing emergent theories, yan po ay yung mga current, okay, yung mga pinaka-latest na theories na nabuo. Okay, so an example na naibigay dito is yung theory ni Lev Vygotsky. Okay, ni Lev Vygotsky on the so-called sociocultural theory niya. Okay, so that is considered to be an emergent or considered to be as emergent theory. Okay, so just take note, these are the latest theory. So yung mga lalabas lang, or bagong just newly advocated type of theory. Okay, and then we have here the next one. Yun yung tatlo So yung tatlong nabanggit kanina, those are classifications of psychological theories. But the next one we have here on the categories of theories, we have here the so-called sociological theories. Okay, so simply it is a set of ideas that provides an explanation for human society. So it is focused on the society wherein that certain person lives, okay, or belongs. So bakit, or ano ba yung contribution ng society na kinabibilangan niya in crime commission? So that is what we so-called, or those are classified under sociological theories. Okay, so it could be social structural factors. So nandyan, ano ba ang example ng social structural factors? Example na nabigay natin dyan is ito, poverty and social disorganization. So poverty, sometimes they believe that is or it contributes in crime causation. Okay, and social disorganization, ito talaga yung pinakamatindi din na or sinasabi nila commonly that caused also a certain person to be misled or misdirected, okay, or ma-involved sa illegal activities. And then on the other hand, we have here how does this poverty or social disorganization affects, okay, the behavior of that person. Okay, and then on the other hand, nandyan din yung pamilya na kinabibilangan niya, school, and then grupo na kinabibilangan niya. Okay, and then that is all about sociological theories. And then the next one we have here, ecological theories. So when we say ecological theories, it focus naman doon sa influence ng neighborhood, okay, o neighborhood organization on criminal activity. Okay, so ecological, so it is somewhat related with also the so-called sociological theory, but it is these kind of theories, these are focused mainly on the influence of neighborhood, okay, organizations. And then we have here the next one, the so-called geographical theory. Okay, so when we say geographical theories, it says here examine the interactions between crime, space, and society. So what is the relationship, let's say the North and South Pole? So yung mga nakatira doon sa malalamig na lugar, what are the common type of crimes that are being committed? Okay, doon sa mainit na lugar, what are the common types of crime that are being committed also, or bakit ganon mas maraming crimes against person doon sa mainit na lugar kaysa doon sa malamig na lugar. So those are some of the explanations, or those are the things that we are trying to present when we so-called or pag sinabing geographical theory. Next in here, we have here another category which is so-called as the economic theory or economic theories. So under here, it states that potential criminals are economically rational. So what do we mean by that? So let's have here the example. One of the most popular theories in crime causation, we have here the so-called rational choice theory. So what is all about rational choice theory? So under rational choice theory, it explains, or it theorizes that a person, okay, who is planning to commit a crime is actually calculating, okay, the consequence and of course the gain. Okay, so titimbangin niya yan. So kung mas mabigat yung weight, okay, ng consequence kaysa doon sa mag-gain niya in commission of crime, then tendency he will not be pursuing in the commission of the crime. However, the other hand, so let's say mas mabigat, okay, or mas madami yung mag-gain niya in the commission of the crime rather than the consequence na mapapala niya kapag siya ay nahuli. So with that tendency, the person will pursue or will consummate the crime. Okay, so that is actually one theory that could fall under the so-called economic theory. So it has something to do with those kind of reasoning of those persons or of those people or of those criminal. Okay, so that is all about economic theories. Okay, and then we have here another one, and this might be the last category that we will be having in here, is the political theory. Okay, so what is all about political theories? So simply it says in here, characterized by their emphasis on social conflict and power relationships. So it has something to do with this. These theories are actually very much related on crimes such as rebellion. Okay, rebellion, katulad ng mga NPA. Okay, it's because they different people were, or different person is actually influenced by different beliefs on governance. So with that, It involves politics or governance and other aspects of politics. That's why um, sometimes it causes the so-called crimes such as rebellion. Okay, so ano ba yan? Diyan yung the belief between communism and then democratic. So some people, they believe that communism or communist governance is much better rather than uh, what we so called democratic governance. So with that, there's a conflict with their beliefs and ideologies. That's why sometimes it causes the physical or commission of crime already. So such as rebellion and other kind of crimes that involves or that caused by these so-called political ideologies. Okay, so we are going. One of the theory that we could discuss in here later on will be the so-called liberalism and then radicalism and others. Okay, so that could be for political theory for now. So all in all, those are the categories of theories that we will be having in this lesson. So with that, please take note of those. And then now, we have here another important thing that we should know about theories. Okay, so please take note that no single theory can adequately explain all types of theory. I mean crime and delinquency, or all of the variation in crime and delinquencies. If you have tried to research on different theories, or if you tried to have an advanced reading on our subject matter, then maybe you have noticed that each single theory discuss only a certain or could only cover or could explain reasons of a certain crime. So no single theory can explain all, okay, types of crime actually. So maybe this theory is good for explaining a crime of murder or in explaining why does a certain crime of murder occurs, okay, but it cannot be applicable or it cannot explain why does a certain crime of theft happen, or a crime of robbery happen, okay, or occur. Okay, so that could be. So with that, take note, there is no single theory that could explain all crimes. Kasi if you have encountered in your subjects or in some of your subjects or previous subjects, it was mentioned that there are lots of, or there are types of crime actually. Okay, so there are crimes against property, there are crimes against person, there are crimes against chastity, there are crimes against what we so called uh, national security and others. Okay, so please take note of that. And then we have here another one. Integrating theories within criminology is particularly advantageous. So this is now, it pertains now with the what we so-called contemporary or modern criminology. So it allows scholars to begin understand the behavior under study in a more complex and potential more complete manner. So in here, by the word integrating, we have in here, since there are only, or each theory, okay, discuss only or explain single type of crime, then there nowadays or this time, most of criminologists try to collect or consolidate or to integrate or to put it as one all those theories, and then that could help or that could lead to better understand, okay, to better understand and to better explain why does those crimes still exist nowadays, or why is still kept or being it's still happening nowadays. Okay, so please take note of those. And then now we are going to proceed already in here, the so-called hypodermic needle model. So we added in here this so-called hypodermic needle model. So what is all about it here? It is somewhat or very much related actually with how does a certain person learn, or how does a certain person adapt characters or adapt behaviors, okay, and adapt things. So with that, hypodermic needle model, please take note that it is also called as hypodermic syringe model. Tinatawag din po itong transmission belt model. And then the most popular term for this is magic bullet theory. So let us try to know or discuss why it is said to be a magic bullet theory. So it is actually a model of communication suggesting that intended message is directly received, okay, and wholly accepted by the receiver. So it has something to do with the use of social media or mass media or simply media. So paano ba ito? Okay, so in here we have here the so-called media's message. So it says here the media message is actually the magic bullet. So bakit kaya natawag na magic bullet yan? Okay, as we have said a while ago, this hypodermic needle model is actually a model of communication suggesting that the intended message, okay? So we have nowadays the media, right? Okay, kung ano usually yung sinasabi doon sa mga palabas or sinasabi doon sa mga news, most of the time that was believed or those were believed easily or those were accepted easily by those viewers, okay, or the receiver itself, okay. So with that, that is the one that is being explained or that is being pertained by the hypodermic needle model, and which is we can say that it is masasabi natin na talagang mukhang totoo, right? Kasi most of the time, especially kids or especially those young ones, they easily believe or they easily adapt those kinds or those things that they are those things or those situations that they are watching or they are reading, okay, and others or they are seeing on TV or on social media, okay, and tinatawag natin doon, please take note, yung tinatawag natin na media, I mean magic bullet doon is media message. So, parang kasing bala yan, di ba? Okay? Yung media message is parang bala yan na tumatama sa ulo ng mga tao, tumatama sa ating mga isipan, and sometimes isa yan sa dahilan kung bakit tayo ay nami-misinform. Okay? So, di ba, parang if you are going to take a look, it is actually a magic bullet. Okay? So, wala namang physical object or walang physical bullet na tumama sa'yo, but the impact, okay, with the impact of the media is actually, or the message coming from the media affects maybe your behavior, the way you move, and sometimes you adapt what you have saw or what you have watched in the media. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin na magic bullet. And of course, the media gun, simply that refers to the social media, of course. Okay? Or the media.